It's been about a month since the start of the entire LARPing as YouTuber saga, and I thought it might be time to check what was happening with it. Since at the 1 month mark is where it actually matters, because this is roughly when people decide if they were doing it for the hype or actually wanting to do a career in YouTube. And in this video, it's essentially seeing what has happened to the entire trend and how have people progressed since the start of the entire month, or been a month worth of time. So this whole LARPing trend started near the end of May when a YouTuber decided to become Markiplier, or in this case, LARP him, meaning that he wasn't making a video about Markiplier, he was becoming him. Same voice, same mannerism, same editing style, right down to the exact same games Mark was playing a decade ago. And that channel is LarpTubers, where he basically used the trend of the new definition of LARPing. And then that snowballed into the whole LARPing as YouTuber trend. The general assumption right now is that the trend is already over, since there hasn't been any new video talking about it recently, since everyone has already made their own videos about the entire situation earlier, when this whole thing was only just starting out, with people thinking for the most part that the trend would be dead in weeks, just like any other social media trend. And I feel like that assumption is wrong. So what's actually happening with LarpTubers a month in of starting their career? Quick recap for anyone just catching up how everything started. LarpTubers posted his first video called Your Next Favorite Let's Player is Here on May 18th, and within days after that, he was playing Amnesia: The Dark Descent, one of the first games Markiplier himself played on his channel a decade ago, which was the joke. Not just impersonating Markiplier's style, but LARPing as his actual career. The growth was immediate, helped by TikTok's traction by pulling in viewers, and almost as fast as Markiplier blew up, imitators followed suit. LARPular MMOs, LARP PewDiePie, LARP Penguin Z0. Anyone with a recognizable YouTuber name got a LARP version of them within days, with most people gravitating towards Minecraft YouTubers, which allowed for a lot of collaborating content together. And here's the thing that actually drove up the speed of the entire thing. There was an unspoken rule that emerged that there can only be one main LARP version per YouTuber. So the moment someone got a name, that name blew up, they became that LARPer. And essentially it just became a giant race. Whoever grew the fastest got to be that LarpTuber. That race alone is why so many people of these channels picked up a couple thousand subscribers just based on a name alone before they really just posted much. Here's the actual turning point. On June 3rd, LarpTubers posted a video called This Video is from Markiplier, and the video was a request/question. LarpTubers directly asked whenever he was allowed to keep doing this or not. His channel had blown up fast enough where people were actually asking about LarpTubers merch, and he did not want to build something off of a trend that essentially just copies someone that the real person might find offensive. So he asked on camera for Mark's blessing, and Mark gave it to him. He commented, "You're a decade too late, Markiplier was already a pioneer." That comment is arguably the single most important event in this trend's lifespan, because Markiplier gave his blessing for the channel to continue, and with Markiplier being one of the most largest and most beloved channels on the entire platform, other LARPers also took this as a green light and started making their own This Video is for Blank YouTuber. And that's what pushed LarpTube from a little bit of a niche into something that's actually viable. And because of that, the race to become a LarpTuber hit its second win. Because of how high LarpTuber was climbing, people thought the same. Because the only difference between YouTubers then and LARPers now is that back then, people were just strictly doing YouTube for just, a hobby, a passion, something to just pass the time with, because back then there's no money at all to be made on YouTube. With LARPers now, they're pursuing YouTube with a hunger, since because of what YouTube has become and the amount of money that you can actually make from it, it has granted the ability to give people full-time jobs. And who wouldn't want, doing YouTube as a full-time job? But all they have to do is put in that work. And that hunger that the LarpTubers had could only be fixed by posting. So with some LARPers who stick to solo channels, the only person who can, really help them into a career is themselves. With other LARPers, especially Minecraft LARPers, they leaned in more into community to where everyone was leaning on each other so that everyone could rise up together as a community. And in mid-June is where it turned into something bigger. Someone hosted a Minecraft LARPer community games event to show off other LARPers to each other, which caused people to meet up and which resulted in a lot of collabs with a lot of people. So when people stop talking about something, they just kind of assume that, the trend must be dying, since it's been like, 2 to 3 weeks since anyone has talked about LarpTubers. But just because people don't talk about something doesn't mean it's dying. As of making this video, LarpTubers has 165,000 subs, over 2.5 million views, and already has his silver play button all under 2 months of making his channel. And he's still climbing. The stats that I've seen is that he's getting around 2 to 5,000 subs a day. But because of that distance that he has between him and the other LARPers, people consider the trend dead, but they aren't looking at the bigger picture. He's not alone. Other LARPers are picking up steam too, not bleeding subs after a month, but gaining them. Could you name any other trend that caused multiple brand new YouTube channels to get 10k subs within a month of making the channel? For any channel, that's amazing. Looking at the stats of multiple LARP channels, most of these guys are getting between 100 to 300 subs daily consistently, meaning that a good audience is actually looking for these channels and are actually enjoying the actual content. Might not be as fast as LarpTubers, but everyone goes at their own pace. And the more you look at other channels, the more you see. There's a LARP channel that I haven't seen anyone talk about that's higher than LarpTubers. And that's the LARPing Tombstone, which is, a LARP version of the Living Tombstones. They have 3 videos within 2 weeks of making their thing. 3.1 million views, 850k, 3.4 million views, at 221 subs. And from what I've seen, they are the only channel that went into the music side of LARPing, and probably came out the most successful LARP channel, which is amazing for any new channel. Since you made it this far into the video, why not subscribe so you can check out the next one when it comes out. You have majority of the LARPers who all started their channel about a month ago, with most of them being at minimum 6k to as high as roughly about 35k subs. Most of these channels are pulling in a couple thousand views per video consistently, and they're posting like people who are actually enjoying the process and slowly building up momentum. And this is where about 99% of the LARPers actually are, with the other 1% being channels that broke the glass ceiling and just shot straight up with everything. These channels have the highest views, highest subs, highest everything. These 3 channels together hold about 500,000 subs together, and combined are probably about at least 30% of the total subs of LARPing channels. And those channels are TechnoLARP at 140, LarpTubers at 165, and then the LARPing Tombstone at 220. So what's actually happening with LarpTubers? They're not disappearing, they're sorting themselves out to make videos. Some people are just doing it as a gimmick, while others just use a name, but truly just show off their own personality, which people enjoy. And at that point, are they even considered a LARPer or their own person? So next time someone tells you that LarpTube is already dead, it's not. It's just getting started, sorting out who's actually gonna stick around.